Hello farmer friends, it's woofing season, and the most frequented question that I get asked on this channel is, how do you find the perfect woof farm for you? My name is Brittney Portez and I'm the project coordinator at WWOOF USA, and I'm also a full-time woofer myself. I've been woofing across the United States to over 7 farms and have just had the time of my life this past year. That's not to say it wasn't hard, and that wasn't to say that I've had my own learning curves, but I'm here to share it with each of you. Basically, my top 10 tips to find the best woof host farm for each of you. Because if there's anything that I've learned about woofing, is what might be a good fit for someone, what might be a good fit for me, might not be a good fit for you. I'm going to take you through the thought process that I go through every single time I reach out to a new woof host. And to be quite honest, there are over 1,500 woof hosts on the WWOOF USA directory alone. And keep in mind, WWOOF is an international organization in close to 50 countries, I think, if not more. So that being said, I'm going to be referring to my WWOOF USA experiences, but this applies to many host farms internationally as well. Tip number 1 is to understand what WWOOF is and what WWOOF isn't. WWOOF stands for Worldwide Opportunities on Organic Farms. It's essentially, think of like a work exchange where you're working for half a day, which is typically 4 to 6 hours per day, in exchange for free room and board. WWOOF is a cultural and educational exchange. Okay, that means WWOOF is not just a means for free housing. However, it is a great way to travel inexpensively because you are living rent-free while also woofing and farming on the farm. WWOOF is not a means of exploitation or for a means for hosts to take advantage of you. I want to really stress that, unfortunately, with any sect of the world, there are people who will try to take advantage of systems. And that is why it's so important that you understand and are able to communicate with the host what the expectations are, and that they are within the WWOOF guidelines of 4 to 6 hours per day, 20 to 30 hours per week. You should not be working more than those 30 hours per week. And if you are, I highly encourage you to speak up and to notify the WWOOF organization that you're woofing for, because WWOOF cannot improve its organization. It cannot make people more safe. It cannot talk to hosts about how they might be breaking WWOOF policy if the organization is not aware. With tip number 2, I'm going to help set the foundation for a successful WWOOF visit, and that is open communication. Oh my gosh, it doesn't get any more important than this, because when you set the foundation to openly communicate your needs, to understand the WWOOF host's needs, to understand where your boundaries are, where their boundaries are, and to really know how to ask questions and navigate living in a new environment, living in someone else's home, it all is rooted in communication. And if you're not able to communicate what you need, how you're feeling, there's going to be a misunderstanding. And that's typically where the root of issues come from when woofing. So the next set of questions and the tips going forward are all really rooted in questions that you can ask yourself, and questions that you can also be asking your host to keep in mind when looking for the best WWOOF host for you, because it really comes down to finding the best WWOOF host is just honoring that we all need to openly communicate what we're looking for. I'm now going to share one of the most important tips, and that is to whip out a journal. Okay, it is so important to get creative and to really take the time to think about what you want out of your WWOOF experience. And I think it's really important that when you have a clear vision of what you're looking for in a host, you're able to better search for that using all the other things I'm about to talk about in this video. So you have your journal whipped out, you start to write, you start to dream about the WWOOF experience that you hope to have. You're on a prairie side in Minnesota or Wisconsin, or you're on the beach near Florida and you're farming/ranching, or you're in New Mexico building adobe homes. Think about the type of WWOOF experience that you want. Do you want to be helping birth calves, or do you want to grow flower farms in northern Maine? Are you looking to be in a desert somewhere in California or New Mexico? There's so many possibilities of what woofing can look like. And that's why I think it's so important for everyone to take the time to write and acknowledge and honor just potentials of what you're looking for, because even if that's not exactly what you're gonna end up with, it's important to know the overall mission and reason for why are you woofing. Do you want to woof to learn more about farming? Do you want to woof to learn more about a specific trade? Do you want to woof because you want to immerse yourself in a new community that's new for you? Do you want to learn a new way of life? Think about, where is the location of this WWOOF farm going to be? If you have no idea, great. Just look at the directory. You can look at it on WWOOF USA's and look within the 50 states and US territories and Hawaii. Or you can look internationally across so many WWOOF directories that exist. And I say, like, it's important to think about, okay, how close do you want to be from your home? Have you ever even traveled alone before? Have you ever been away from home for extended periods of time? Knowing, do you want to be in an urban setting? Do you want to be close to a city? Do you want to be in the remote wilderness of Alaska? And then the next question to ask yourself is like, what type of farm do you want to be going to? Do you want to learn from someone who's a nonprofit owner? Are you looking for a homesteading experience, how to bake and create a self-sustaining lifestyle for yourself? Are you looking for a market production farm because you're looking to grow your own market production, or just want to be a part of that grind? Are you really into animals because animals are really cute and you just want to spend some time with goats and calves and just learn and be connected with animals? And then think about the type of schedule that works for you. Do you have a remote part-time position that you have to take into consideration? Are you a part-time student? Do you have all the time in the world and you're just looking to have some farmer fun? That's cool too. Just know, like, how used to are you to like farming? Have you done a lot of physical labor? Is your body able to farm 4 to 6 hours per day? And every single WWOOF profile says, like, on average, like, how many hours per day or per week are you farming? And that's something that, like, I like to openly communicate with WWOOF hosts about. What are the expected hours? What would a schedule look like? Am I waking up at 8? That works with me. Are they like, oh, actually in the summertime, we wake up at 5 a.m. because it's that hot? Like, those are the types of questions you want to know. Are they like, oh, actually we work you 8 hours a day, which if they do that, that's probably not a good sign. Don't go there. Oh my God, it's getting hot in here. Okay, so with tip number 4, I want you to now start thinking about what type of personal experience are you looking for. Are you okay with having no access to Wi-Fi, or is access to Wi-Fi and cell service a must for you? Do you need close proximity or access to a hospital? Do you have a car that is a means of transportation that you want to be able to be close to other cities or to social life? Do you want to be in the middle of nowhere? I always ask about proximity to the closest towns, proximity to water, to natural life, and to other things that can be done and explored beyond just farming and woofing at that farm. Something else that I always ask about is food, because food is so seasonal. And when you think about it, you know, they can say all they want on their profile, but it is best to think about what food supplies do you need. With food, what type of food experience are you looking for, or do you need to be accommodated? Are you vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian? Do you have no dietary restrictions? Do you have a lot of food allergies? Those are things to look at. And what's pretty cool about WWOOF is that, like, there are so many hosts with so many dietary restrictions. And if you're a raw vegan, I guarantee you there are raw vegan farms out there. If you want to try a new diet, that's a cool way to explore trying new diets. It's just important to take into consideration and to look for hosts that are able to accommodate whatever diet it is that you have. Okay, we have now just asked ourselves so many questions. And with tip number 5, you're ready to start looking at profiles. Like, you have this vision now of what woofing looks like. And with that, it's time to take it to the website and look through profiles. Now that you know the region you want to be in, you can zoom into that region. Now you know the location you want to be in, you can zoom into that location. And with that being said, read the profiles, okay? Oh my gosh. You know, sometimes profiles will literally have secret words inside of them, and it'll literally say, like, when you send me a visit request, say this secret word, mushrooms, I don't know, because hosts want to make sure that the quality of woofers that they're getting is interested, that they're thoughtful, and that they actually read through and cared about what the host has to say. Because there are hosts that put so much information into this, and that's just like the first sign of like, is this host going to be a good fit for me? Does it look like I'd have fun here? Does it look like I'd be successful and in a safe and welcoming environment? Is this a place where I feel called to be a woofer at? When you're looking at a profile, ask yourself, is this what I envision woofing to look like? Does it look magical, or are you like, that looks a little questionable, that looks sketchy? If your gut is telling you, that doesn't really look right, maybe that's not the host to do it. You shouldn't be at any point trying to convince yourself to go woofing somewhere. I truly believe that one of the reasons I've had such successful like woofing visits, it's because I have asked, one, I've done the envisioning process, two, I've openly communicated my needs, wants, and desires, my intentions, and I've equally asked the same from hosts. But most importantly, I've really listened to my gut feeling, like, does this woof host align with what I'm looking for and the experience I'm trying to get out of woofing? And another way you can do this is to read the reviews. Like, some hosts might be brand new and might not have new reviews, which in that case, like, I don't like push aside new hosts. Sometimes they literally might be just brand spanking new, and if you still are able to like, wow, they have a good profile, I had a good conversation with them, I feel like this is a good fit, I still say go for it. But in the case of hosts that have been hosting for a really long time, if they don't have many reviews on the WWOOF USA website, I would take it as a questionable flag. Why aren't people leaving reviews maybe? If they have a lot of positive reviews, read what the positive reviews say. Just because something's positively marked as a positive review does not always mean that it is a 100% positive experience. And read the reviews. Do the reviews of how those people felt. Is that how you want to feel at the end of your WWOOF visit, for example? So please, 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 please read the reviews. With tip number 6, use filters. On the WWOOF USA site, there are so many filters that you get to choose from, which are pretty cool. My favorite filters to use are BIPOC operated, LGBTQ plus operated, flower farm, mushrooms. I sometimes will just write in medicinal because I love seeing other hosts who are into, using and growing medicinal herbs. And it's like I said, from that list we made earlier, having and envisioning the things you dream of, it makes going through the filters that much easier, because there are so many filters that, like, when you click on them, it'll bring you to the hosts that have that filter or who identify with that. And I think it's really cool because it's just one more way that you can connect with people who are like-minded, have similar goals, similar visions as your farming goals have. Tip 7. Ask questions. Ask so many questions, but not just like random questions. Like, read the profile and now think, you're like interviewing for a job, kind of. You don't just go into a job not knowing anything about it. Like, look up their farm profile. They probably have a farm website. Stalk that a little bit. I like to think about woofing sometimes, choosing a host, kind of like going on a date. Because when you go on a date, okay, you're not just gonna go on a date with someone you just swiped with and didn't talk to them at all. Like, you wanna know something about them. So it's important to set up a Zoom or phone call. For me, that's a must, because when you talk to someone, you can tell, can you even carry a conversation with this person? Does it feel natural to talk to them? Do you feel like this is someone that could be an educator role or someone that you would want to spend time with? Because you're gonna be spending time with them as a woofer regardless. Like, you're going to enter someone's home, someone's community, and I think it's important to make sure that you feel that connection and that you feel comfortable knowing that you're about to embark on a new woofing journey. I also wanted to mention that WWOOF USA has a monthly What is WWOOF webinar, which I highly recommend you attend, because that's an opportunity where you get to learn more about like the technical sides of WWOOF. If you have like direct questions about like how to use the website, if you don't know how to navigate it. Or if you have any questions, like you can directly ask a WWOOF USA representative there. So I think that's a great resource to be aware of. Tip number 9, if you're anything like me and you love to over prepare and just watch more and more experiences, you know, there are so many people who are sharing their WWOOF experiences on YouTube, on TikTok, and I highly encourage you to check those out. I'm gonna link my first WWOOF experience and the days of my life in the WWOOFer video. You can probably find either of those right up here as well. And the last tip, so just have an open mind. This is going to be one of the most rewarding and fulfilling experiences perhaps of your life. It has been for myself. And just know that, you know, you envision this whole dream, but not everything is going to happen exactly how you envisioned it. But by going into WWOOFing with an open mind, with a willingness and eagerness to learn, with the ability to have open communication, you know, you're gonna find the best WWOOF farm for you if you put the effort in. You're gonna find the best WWOOF host for you if you ask questions. What's so great about WWOOFing is that it truly accepts people from all walks of life. With WWOOFing, you don't need any previous experience, you just need an open mind. I just gave you guys 10 tips for how to find the best WWOOF host for you, and now that your toolbox is so full, I just encourage you to go look on the directory, go find a WWOOF host, and just try it, guys. You know, once you try it, you'll learn why it's the best thing ever. Happy WWOOFing!